Hi everyone! Today we're going to talk about why it is so important to be the queen of your own everyday life. So without further ado, let's jump right into this video. So a few years ago, I decided to be a queen. And I crowned myself the queen of my own kingdom. Might sound funny, but at some point I realized that if you are wearing a sweatsuit, you will feel like a person who's wearing a sweatsuit. And when you're wearing a ball gown, you will feel like a princess. And I chose to be a princess, or in my case, a queen, every single day of my life. That's what I wanted, because I did not want to waste time on being average. Sounds really bad. I don't mean it that way. On not being my best that I can be. So I came up with a whole set of rules, if you want, to change my life into becoming my queendom. So first of all, I changed the things that I could change, because there are so many things in your life where you have no control and you can't change them. But the things that don't work for you, you can change them. And sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you lose stuff on the way. And there is a price to pay, but you can change them. And yeah, so I just want to encourage you, if there is stuff that holds you back, and that is really, when you're looking at it, at the end of the day, not that important, and you're just holding on to it because you're used to it, you might consider if you want to just, dump it in order to be free for something new. So change the things that you can change and that don't work for you anymore. On the other hand, protect the things that totally work for you, that are important to you, and that you really, really want and need in your life. Don't let anyone, even maybe if it's not that mainstream, don't let anyone take it away from you, and really hold on to it and protect it. This is, for example, my clothing that I started to wear at some point is pretty much out there. It's not like everybody walks around like this, at least not here, where I live. So, but I found out that it just works for me. And even though, okay, I got a lot of positive feedback, but I'm not stupid. I see how some people look at me like, what's wrong with her? And I learned to not care about that so much anymore. I started to see it as a compliment. That people care enough to hold on for a second and just look at you and think, what's wrong with her? Okay, so maybe they don't get it, and they don't have to, but it stopped them in their tracks. And I like that. I like that idea that people got taken out of their routine, and even if it's just for 10 seconds, and stopped and thought about, there is something else, or there is something you can do different. There are people who do stuff differently. So I personally like that a lot. And I think a lot of people should just stop and look around and see what is out there. Yeah, and connected to that, at least in my case, is dress like you're the queen of your own kingdom. Like you're the queen every single day. That doesn't mean you have to dress up like a queen in the literal sense of the word. You cannot walk around in ball gowns and jewelry, whatever crazy stuff, because you have to work, and you have a family, and you have children, and you have stuff to do. You have to clean the house, you have to clean the toilet, but you can still find your own certain style and own certain way to make yourself the queen, in spite of all of this, in spite of all the things you have to do. For example, when I clean the house or give the kids a shower or whatever I do, when I plan a whole day of cooking and baking, I decided to not wear simple clothes or old clothes. I decided that also on those days I want to dress up. I want to have my full face of makeup. I want to have a nice head covering. I want to look nice because I'm still the queen, even though I have to do all these things that a mommy or a wife or a single has to do. And I think it adds a lot to the way you look at yourself and to the way you feel about yourself while you're doing all the things that you have to do. So dress, whatever style is your style. You don't have to look like me. And you don't have to put on makeup like me. Just find what makes you personally the queen of your kingdom and then do it. No matter what your plan is for the day, just do it. The next point is treat yourself with respect. And that includes so many things that I can't even get into it all. But one of the things, for example, that just pops right into my mind is treating yourself with respect in the way you eat, for example. Especially when you're a mommy or when you're like an extremely busy person in your work life or whatever, you tend to, just eat out of the fridge and don't sit down for meals anymore and don't even use nice dishes or... Sorry, my friends, I had to switch the camera. All right, so it is in choosing your dishes, in choosing to sit down and have a meal with your family, in choosing the actual things that you eat. You're treating your body with respect if you don't put garbage into your mouth and don't let any garbage into your body, which is by food or by influences or all kinds of things. So that's an example for treating yourself with respect. Another thing could be that you're putting on lotion or massaging yourself with coconut oil, or like little treats, how you can show yourself that you're worth it and that you're the queen. The next thing is say no and mean it. Or say yes and mean it. Especially when you have children, for an example. When you're raising them and your no is not a no, they'll figure it out. They won't take you seriously. And I do believe that a queen, when she says no, it's a no. And people in your life should know that your no is a no, or that your yes is a yes, and they can depend on it. And it makes a lot of things easier in your life. Like, for example, in my life, I have 7 children. I had 7 children in 9 years, and it sounds crazy, and it sort of is. But this is one thing that makes life much easier, that my children know that my no is a no, and my yes is a yes, and what they hear from me, that's what they can depend on. And I will not waver, and I will not be today like this and tomorrow like that, because today I feel strong and tomorrow I feel weak. So tomorrow I'll let them do the stuff that I wouldn't let them do today. So that's, I think, a very important thing that turns you into royalty. And that's exactly the next point. Remember that you're royalty. Have your crown on, your invisible crown, every single day. Sometimes when I don't feel like a queen, and it doesn't come naturally every day, but sometimes I tell myself, Leora, remember your royalty. And I say it out loud in order to remind me, and so I can hear it, that this is the road I want to go, and this is how I want to feel. And we actually do have the power to sort of lead ourselves in a certain way, and set ourselves up for the way we want to live. There are so many things that we don't have control of, like I said in the beginning, but certain things we do have, and they might just be small things in some ways, but it makes a difference. It makes a big difference. Yeah, and then the last point I want to make is, remember, if you're a queen, that makes your spouse the king. And that, I think, is a very, very, very important point, because it makes such a difference in a relationship. When your husband is the queen, and your husband is the king, or if you're a man, if your wife is the queen or whatever, then that means that you basically must treat your spouse with the respect he or she deserves. And that brings a whole new dimension into a relationship, because, as we all know, the longer a relationship goes, the more you get used to each other, and the more you let things slide, and maybe don't take care of yourselves anymore, or don't talk nicely to each other anymore. You don't have the respect that you used to have when you were dating, and when it becomes clear in your mind that if you're the queen, my husband is the king, or my children are the heirs to the throne, that is amazing. That's very heavy duty stuff. And I'm right there with you learning this. It's not like I have it all, especially the part about my children are the heirs to the throne. Because it's hard to have so many small children and to do it all and to try to be good in everything, and it's a lot of pressure, but it still is amazing, and it sets up the whole family on a whole different level, and I think that is a very, very big deal. So this is it for today, and I enjoyed it very much to just chit-chat. So please follow me and hit the subscribe button and give me a big like and leave your comments and share on your own social media, whatever you want to do. I'm happy if we are on this journey together. I'm looking forward to my next video. And yeah, so now I'm going to give you a look in our other segment, Leora's Latest Looks, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope I'll see you back here next time, and hugs and kisses.